Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will show you the 20 mounts that most players own in the game. I will categorize a few of them because, for instance, as you can imagine, if I was to put all the different racial mounts from Vanilla WoW individually, probably a lot of these top 20 would be about these different mounts. So for some of them, I will make a few categories. So let's start with number 20. At number 20, we have a mount that 56.9% of the player base own, and this is the Elysian Aquilon mount from the Qiraji Covenant from Shadowlands. So this really cool mount is obtainable when you reach Renown 45 with the Qiraji Covenant, and you will automatically receive this mount in your inventory. So this is something that is really easy to do, especially now in Dragonflight, and something that will probably take you a few days in order to get. So if you really like this mount, I would recommend you to go and get it. Sadly, this is a mount you will only be able to use on a character that has the Qiraji Covenant activated. And so right now, for instance, as you can see, I do have this mount, but I can't mount it simply because I'm part of the Ventir Covenant. After that, with 57.7% of the player base who own this mount, at number 19, we have the Swift Purple Wind Rider. So this is one of the classic flying mounts from the Burning Crusade, and something that can tell you that basically most players are playing Hordes because this is the most popular of these different classic flying mounts. And so something pretty nice, pretty simple that probably a lot of you know. And this is one of the mounts the most owned by the player base till this day. Now, at number 18, with 58.2% of the player base who own this mount, we have the Gravestone Battle Gargon from Shadowlands, and this time this is from the Ventir Covenant. So you will be able to get this mount when reaching Renown 39 with the Ventir Covenant, and again, it will directly be added to your collection. So in my opinion, this is a really nice mount. I do love the design of the different Ventir mounts from Shadowlands. And this is again a really easy mount to get, so if you really want it, just create a character with the Ventir Covenant and then you will be able to reach Renown 39 pretty easily. And remember, you can also reach Renown 60 very easily by simply using the Broker Mark of Distinction. This is something you will be able to buy on one character and send it to another character, and this is probably the easiest way for you to actually unlock these different Covenant mounts. Now, at number 17, with 60% of the player base who own this mount, we have another Covenant mount from Shadowlands, and this time this is the Eternal Phalynx of Purity mount from the Qiraji Covenant, and you will be able to get this mount when reaching Renown 39 with the Qiraji Covenant. Again, it will only be usable when you're playing on a character with the Qiraji Covenant activated. After that, at number 16, with again 60% of the player base who own this mount, we have the Garn Nighthowl from Warriors of Draenor. So this mount is really easy to get because basically you will be able to buy it from the auction house for usually less than 100 gold. And the reason why this mount is so cheap is because it's very easy to get. So basically, if you want to get it on your own without having to buy it from the auction house, all you have to do is to go in Draenor, and when you're there, you want to go in the Frostfire Ridge region, and here next to the Whirlgold town, you will find Nokkarosh, which is an elite wolf that will spawn every 20-30 minutes, and each time you kill this wolf, you have a 100% guaranteed chance at getting the mount, and this mount is BOE, so you can then sell it on the auction house, and that's why on most realms, you will be able to buy it for less than a few hundred golds from the auction house. Then at number 15, with 60.5% of the player base who own the mount, we have the Dark Phoenix. So the Dark Phoenix is a recolored version of the very famous Ashes of Alar mount from the Burning Crusade, and this one you will be able to get it through all the different guild vendors and guild achievements. So in order to unlock this mount, the first thing that you need to do is of course to be part of a guild, and then with your guild you want to unlock this achievement right here, the Guild Glory of the Cataclysm Raider. And as you can see, you just need to kill these different bosses inside of these different raids with members of your guild, and then you will be able to purchase this mount from the guild vendors located in Orgrimmar, Stormwind, and over of the main cities. And in order to be able to purchase the mounts, you will need to reach Exalted with the guild, and then it will cost you 3000 gold in order to get this really cool Phalynx mount. After that, at number 14 with 61.1% of the player base who own this mount, we have another Covenant mount from Shadowlands, and this time this is from the Nightfey Covenant, and this is the Ardenweald Wildering mount. So you will be able to get this mount when reaching Renown 45 with the Nightfey Covenant, and you will automatically receive the mount in your inventory. So another one of these really nice Covenant mounts, and again, something really easy to get right now in Dragonflight. Now at number 13, with 61.6% of the player base who own this mount, we have the Black Drake from Sartarian. And so this mount is obtainable through the raid the Obsidian Sanctuary in Wrath of the Lich King. And all you have to do really in order to get this mount is to enter the raid in 10 mode difficulty, and then you directly want to go and kill Sartarian, which is the only boss in the raid, and you will automatically get the mount. This is 100% drop. So the only thing you need to make sure is to not kill any of the mini bosses inside of the raid. Just go straight, kill Sartarian, and like that you will get this pretty cool mount. After that, with 62.3% of the player base who own these different mounts, we have all the different Qiraji battle tanks from the Temple of Qiraji raid. So these different mounts are really easy to get because basically you will be able to get them from the different trash mobs inside of the raid. And again, here you need to be in the Temple of Qiraji, not the ruins of Qiraji, and they drop really frequently. So all three of them are really, really easy, and they're all at 62.3% of players who own them. The only one that is a little more difficult to get is this one, the red version, which is at 40%. Again, it drops from the same trash mobs. Then, if you want one of these different mounts that can be used outside of the raid, because as you can see, in order to use these different mounts right here, you need to be inside of the Temple of Qiraji raid. You will need to farm this one right here, the Ultramarine Qiraji Battle Tank, which is the blue version that you can get from Archaeology, but this one is definitely more difficult to get. And then, of course, you also have this one right here, but this one is now unobtainable and will probably never be brought back into the game. Now, at number 10, with 64% of the player base who own this mount, we have another Nightfey Covenant mounts from Shadowlands, and this time this is the Enchanted Shadeleaf Runestag. So you will be able to get this mount when reaching Renown 39 with the Nightfey Covenant, and again, you will automatically receive the mount in your inventory when you reach Renown 39. So another really, really nice mount from Shadowlands, and again, something really easy to get right now. Then at number 9, with 64.1% of the player base who own this mount, we have the Hearthsteed mount from Hearthstone. And so this is a pretty nice mount. As you can see, this is just a fiery horse, which I think looks honestly really, really, really nice. And in order to get this mount, all you have to do is on the same account you're playing World of Warcraft, you need to log in onto Hearthstone and win 3 games. And when this is done, you can log back in into your World of Warcraft account, and normally this mount will be added to your collection. So this is something that is honestly really, really easy to do. And if you're struggling winning some of the games, you can watch some maybe guides online, but normally winning 3 normal games should be fairly easy. Now at number 8, with 66.3% of the player base who own this mount, we have the Twilight Drake from Sartarian again. And this is still from the raid, the Obsidian Sanctuary from Wrath of the Lich King. So in order for you to get this mount, it's very similar to the Black Drake. So all you have to do is to enter the raid, this time in 25 mode, and you just want to go straight for the boss, Sartarian, kill him, and normally you will get this mount. This is a 100% drop chance. So this is something really, really easy to do. If you don't have this mount already, just go there. Make sure to enter the raid and directly go and kill Sartarian, and again, you will get this really cool Drake for yourself. Now at number 7, with 66.9% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Sunnhide Gronnling from Wrath of the Lich King, and this is a mount you will be able to get from the rare Pound Fist. So this is one of the different Gronnlings mounts that, in my opinion, I really, really like. I think the model looks pretty cool, and remember the different gladiator mounts from Wrath of the Lich King were also using this model. And so in order to get this mount, again, you just need to kill the rare Panther. So as you can see, you will need to go right there in Draenor, in the Gorgon region, and then Panther will sometimes spawn in these different spots right here. So the only difficulty with this mount is really to just find the rare, but then when you kill the rare, you will get this mount. This is a 100% drop chance. So the only difficult part is to actually camp and find a rare. But again, right now there's not that many people doing it, and you can easily try to hope on another realm and then find a rare. After that, at 8, with 68.4% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Bronze Drake from the Culling of Stratholme dungeon. So this is a dungeon from Wrath of the Lich King, and so here all you have to do in order to get this mount is to kill all the different bosses really fast, the 3 first bosses, and then just before the last boss, Mal'Ganis, in heroic difficulty, you will be able to kill this rare right here, the Infinite Corruptor, and then this mount will be a guaranteed drop from this boss. So this is something that you can do really easily right now. Just enter, kill all the bosses really fast, and you will be able to get this mount in no time. At number 7, with 68.8% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Ensorcelled Everwyrm. This was the reward for purchasing the Shadowlands Heroic Edition, and this is something that you can still get from the shop right now. It will cost you 25 euros or $30 in order to get your hands on this pretty nice mount. So again, something that you can get just by buying it. You can, of course, if you have enough gold, buy some WoW tokens and then convert these different WoW tokens in Battle.net balance, and then you can buy the mount basically with quite a lot of gold. After that, at number 6, with 71.8% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Chestnut Mar. So this mount is one of the first racial mounts you can get when you're playing with a human, and this is the most owned mount from all the different races from Vanilla WoW and all the different races in the game. This is this one right here. On average, all the different racial mounts from Vanilla WoW are around 50-60% and some a little bit more, but this one is the only one that is really owned by almost 72% of the player base. And so all you have to do really to get this mount is to reach Exalted with Stormwind if you're playing on a non-human character. And if you're playing on a human character, this is one of the racial mounts you will be able to buy from the vendor. That is very simple. And for those of you who are curious, for all players, the one that is just behind by not even probably a few players is the Direwolf from the Orc faction. After that, at number 5, with 72.9% of the player base who have this mount, we have another Night Fae Covenant mount from Shadowlands, and this time this is the Dreamlight Runestag. So this mount is the reward for completing the entire quest line with the Covenant Night Fae, and you will get it as the final reward for this quest line. So something pretty easy to do that if you don't already have this mount, you can do right now in Dragonflight. And this is by far the most popular mount from Shadowlands and also the most popular mount from all the different covenants. So again, it confirms that Night Fae was the most popular covenant back in Shadowlands and still till this day. After that, at number 4, with 85.4% of the player base who own this mount, we have the renewed Proto-Drake from Dragonflight. So here, of course, not everyone has this specific appearance for the renewed Proto-Drake, but the base mount in itself is owned by 85.4% of the entire player base. So all the other mounts that you were able to get as dragon riding mounts from the start of the expansion are also very popular. The last one is the Cliffside Drake, and this one is actually only owned by 78% of the player base. So definitely a little bit lower than the renewed Proto-Drake. And so this one is really the most popular of all the different mounts from Dragonflight, and especially from all the different dragon riding mounts. After that, at number 3, with 86.3% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Albino Drake from the achievement Leading the Cavalry. So this mount is from Wrath of the Lich King, and basically you will get the mount when you have 50 mounts in your collection, and then you will automatically receive this mount So this is something that apparently most of you have, and I'm pretty glad about that. And if you still don't have this mount, just maybe consider farming a few of the other mounts in this list, and hopefully you will reach 50 pretty easily and you will be able to get this mount as a reward. After that, at number 2, we have 4 different mounts that are owned by 89 to 88% of the entire player base, and these are the different mounts that you can get from the different classes. So for instance, you have the Fell Saber for the different Demon Hunters, then you have of course the Death Charger for the different Death Knights, and then you also have the different Fell Steed and Fiery Steeds for Warlocks. So all these different mounts are things that you can get when you are playing these different classes, and apparently everyone has at least one Demon Hunter, one Death Knight, and one Warlock. And so this is why these different mounts are really popular. And again, they're pretty easy to get, so this is really nice, and I'm glad to see these old mounts as part of the list. And now at number 1, with 91% of the player base who have this mount, we have the Wandering Enchant mount. So this was a promotional mount that you were able to get during, I believe, Shadowlands. And basically, you were only required to log in and to have a subscription, and then you would automatically receive this mount. And I think this is still something that you can get right now. So the one thing that is really nice with this mount is the fact that the colors of the mount and the leaves will change for each season. So you will have 4 different appearances in total. And so this is the mount that most players in the entire game have. So I think this is really interesting and pretty cool. So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video and if you were surprised with some of them. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a good day. Bye bye!